And action! Welcome to another episode of Let's Cook Stuff with Warren. And today's shout out goes to Beverly L down in South Florida for sponsoring this episode. But I think instead of calling people sponsors, maybe we should just all part of our family, brothers and sisters in cooking.
What are we cooking today?
So today, actually, Beverly L down in South Florida, actually she said, hey, you know what, Warren? Make something you want to eat. So here's what we got. Oh, by the way, big shout out also to my staff for getting lots of spoons around so that we have lots of spoons around. So here's what we've got. And this is really in no order yet, so let's get some of our special effects in here. So we got some fresh basil that was growing in the garden. We've got Lebanese olive oil. It's an extra virgin and it comes from Lebanon, which is why it's Lebanese olive oil. A shallot, some garlic, some white wine, arugula, a little chicken gloss, which is chicken stock, and you reduce it way down and you get this like chicken jello, which is pretty delicious. Some bacon. There's no fat in it anymore because the fat went into bacon bourbon cookies, some asparagus, a scallion, oyster mushroom. So trivia fact on oyster mushrooms, they're cannibals. They will climb up a tree and go and eat other mushrooms. Tomato, some angel hair pasta. I was a little lazy, so I didn't make my own. It's a box pasta, which is actually pretty good. Check out. And then I've got this cheese of Parmesan, and it looks like someone took a bite out of it.
I wonder who.
And that looks kind of like my overbite, so it might be me. Anywho, so let's get cooking. This is the same pan, I guess. It probably seems like we only own one pan at this point because we're going to use it for everything. Okay, we've got more. So we're letting our pan get hot. We're going to put a little bit of our Lebanese olive oil into there.
Hey Warren, what kind of a pan is that?
A worn out one. It was Teflon at one point.
I'm thinking thin.
Oh, thin, like me. Oh, yeah, that's right. I have to work that into all of our episodes. So notice the angel hair is thin, like me. So actually, there's something you guys have to know. This is actually a prosthetic. And we just put it on at the start of filming, and when it's all done, we just take it off. And it just, you know, as a chef, it kind of seems like the right thing to do. So we've got our pan going there. Our garlic goes in. Our garlic is doing its garlic thing. Let's switch the camera over here, and we'll add a little shallot. And again, I like shallots instead of onions. It's just a little different flavor. So our shallot goes in there too. We'll put that for a moment. Let's lower it and let it go low and slow. And next I want to put, let's go with the asparagus. So we'll cut it like on a bias, which is kind of a fancy way of saying on an angle. And we'll do these sort of little cuts like this. There's a name for it, but honestly I don't remember what it is. The first place I worked, one of the first places I worked, this guy Chris was our grill cook, and he did that with carrots, and it was kind of cool. So that's what we're doing with here. And asparagus goes in. And this is when I add some of our oyster mushrooms. So oyster mushrooms are kind of cool if you just pull it apart. And this actually comes from North Carolina, so they're growing up here now. And it looks like we need a little more olive oil in there, so put a little more olive oil in there. A little more. So next time I want to put a tomato in. And you know, a lot of the books talk about making tomato concasse, where you kind of mark it and you put it in boiling water and you shock it and then you
do a hula dance with it? What on earth?
But it seems kind of mean to do that to a tomato, especially, so this is a ripe tomato that's actually ripe on the vine. So we don't want to be that brutal with it. So while I was thinking about the video this morning, which actually is a total lie because you know I didn't plan any of this ahead of time, right? So if we just kind of fillet it out like this, right? We've got that, and this stuff here we don't really need right here. And then if we fillet this part here out, we've got the tomato flesh without the skin, and we can put that into our dish. A little tomato. Our tomato goes in. Plus a little bit of salt. And a couple kinds of pepper. What's next? White wine. So a little bit of white wine goes in there. Now I'm going to put our pasta in. So I'm not going to use a spoon on purpose because everybody got me loves the spoons. So a little bit of pasta goes in there. And this is an angel hair, and it's a premium brand. That's quite good. And into here now, we'll put our bacon, because bacon. And we'll put our chicken gloss. If you don't have chicken gloss, don't put that part in there.
Can you use chicken stock?
You can. So really what it does is it adds a little more background flavor. It adds a little bit of salt to it. And it gives a nice little background flavor to it, is what we're really looking for.
So if you have one of those chicken stock cubes, but you didn't put the full amount of water in it, would it give you the same effect?
I don't know. Would it?
I think so.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. So you can use a chicken cube and just don't make it into chicken stuff, right? So chicken powder.
What is it when you,
Rehydrate, dehydrate.
no, when you're making a solution, where it just gets to the point where the particles are starting to dissolve, but not past that? It's not a,
Saturated?
yeah,
Under saturation?
suspended saturation, that one.
Okay.
We're going science on that.
So we've got this going on, and this is some fresh basil that was in the garden. And here's some arugula. That
Not in the garden.
was in Brittany's station. And green onion or scallion. Also, we'll do that fancy kind of bias cut. A little more olive oil. I knew I forgot something. Can somebody grab me a plate, please?
You have plenty of spoons.
Yeah, we have plenty of spoons, so I'm purposely not using a little more salt. So you notice that when we cook, okay, here, we'll use this. When we cook, we layer in and we season constantly, little salt, little pepper, all the time.
Real plate?
Oh, no, we're going to use a
Faux.
fake plate instead. We're going to these, because I bought these and we're not using them for anything, so we got to use them for something. Steak.
That's how many more episodes? Yeah, okay.
Here's our pasta dish. Wow, that smells really good, huh? And Parmesan. We should probably avoid the overbite. So, yeah. And I don't like to grate it. I like to use a peeler because it gives you these nice little,
Shaved.
I was going to say peels, but yeah, we use shaved. It's a good word too. Of Parmesan.
Because shaving.
Because Parmesan. Right. And there you have it. It's angel hair pasta with some vegetables that we had around, and white wine, and bacon, and cheese and stuff. So again, big shout out to Beverly L from South Florida for sponsoring this. And I was gonna say Bon Appetit, but that's Julia Child already took that one. So we needed an ending.
Stay zesty.
Stay zesty.